Welcome to the Whiskey Tribe. The top, how many?
8.
8 classic Speyside scotches according to the Magnificent Bastards in the Whiskey Tribe. And we mean classic, we mean quintessential. What do we mean here?
Like right down home plate.
Right.
If you wanted to introduce somebody to the entire category,
Right.
this would be a fair representation.
Yes.
So not outliers, no weird special unicorns.
Yeah.
Just right down home plate.
All right, so number 8, what do we got?
Number 8, Glenfiddich 15.
Okay.
Which is their Solera cask.
This is a very widely distributed brand. You're more than likely to be able to find Glenfiddich, but the 15 Solera cask,
Yes,
is this?
specifically the 15.
Okay.
Is
this a little bit more rare and different than the classic 12?
Yeah, it's not as rare. I mean, yes, it's 15. It's a little more rare,
Right.
but it's as accessible. Like if you find a shop that has 12, the odds are they're going to have 15.
Okay, so explain to us what the Solera cask is.
Solera cask is when you fill a barrel or barrels or a large barrel blending
Yeah.
tank,
Yeah.
and you drain off some of the whiskey to bottle it,
Yep.
but you don't drain it all, and then you pour newer stuff into that tank, and so everything in there is at least 15, but depending on how many times that cycle has happened, some of the whiskey in this blend could be significantly older.
It's kind of like an infinity bottle
Barrel.
but with a barrel.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
Now this is a reasonable sherry cask forward.
And I really like the nose.
There is a slight
Very.
wood note, but it's so subtle.
Let's talk about the most dominant note. We're talking about sweetness. We're talking
Yeah.
about like a really floral, so floral and sweet and perfumey that it almost becomes a fruity character.
I would say almost citrus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like candied orange slices.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did.
I know.
With the words you said. Behind that, I get what you mean by this woody character.
I think that's going to show up in the taste. No, it doesn't actually. The taste is really light and approachable.
Yeah.
It's a hefty 40%.
Almost a strawberry preserves quality, but not that concentrated or dense or rich.
Not quite as jammy.
Yeah, just that
but
direction.
That direction.
All right, what's the
Now,
next one?
Next one, number 7 on the list, Glenfarclas 12.
Ah.
Not the 10,
Yeah.
the 12.
Interesting.
Now, I'm going to get you,
So,
because I'm just a good guy, I'm going to get you a fresh glass.
you are kind and generous, and I don't care what anybody says about you. I mean, they're not wrong.
All right, so
Oh,
Glenfarclas, this is still
Comparatively,
sherry cask,
the butterscotch though.
but the butterscotch sort of jumps up to the front too.
And this is what we always recommend if you're trying to figure out specific notes, comparative tasting, having like an A-B you can go back to.
Yeah.
Because the butterscotch in the Glenfarclas compared to the Glenfiddich, man, there wasn't an ounce of butterscotch in that Glenfiddich.
Right.
This though, it was the first thing that hit me.
So here's the thing that I think I want to make sure we mention in
Yeah.
this whole episode. This is going to be a lot like bourbon,
Sure.
where there's a lot of flavors, but they all live in this narrow bandwidth.
Okay.
And so you're talking about big dramatic differences between 3 bourbons, but you're still living inside this narrow window.
Right.
Speyside's like that for me.
Sure.
If you eliminate the peated stuff,
Which
it's
is
sort of
the rare.
the outliers.
Right.
Yeah, then it's sort of like this really narrow bandwidth.
Sure.
And so we're going to be talking about what sounds like dramatic differences.
Right.
But they're all living inside of a pretty narrow spectrum.
So I'll tell you right now, whenever we get to the number 1 classic, most quintessential, we actually have the community vote up a flavor cloud.
Oh, good. For that whiskey?
For that particular
Okay.
whiskey. So we'll look at what are the most common notes they're finding.
Now, this one, I also get buttered pastries on the nose.
More maltiness, and actually, it's more dry on the
and
finish there.
There's a little more pepper to the end of that.
Yeah.
It's almost like that popsicle stick.
Yeah.
Dry wood, but not burnt or charred.
If anybody just wants an age statement,
Yeah.
but they don't want to break the bank, this has several different options.
Did you catch that?
You know how to drink whiskey, you've long since forgotten how to drink water.
My mouth just didn't want it.
Right.
I took a sip and I was like, oh God.
This isn't whiskey, what are you doing? Glenfarclas, I mean, like even the Glenfarclas 21.
Oh yeah, it was reasonably priced, couple $100.
Yeah, so you can get
Yeah.
big numbers on here. It's not going to be the most game-changing, amazing, matured, nuanced, complex whiskey.
Man, you can be a hit at a party.
Yeah, like,
Show
oh
up
my
with
gosh,
21-year-old
it's so
scotch.
old, you madman.
This is Aberlour A'bunadh. Now, this is our cask strength Aberlour, and I think Aberlour is amazing.
Yeah.
But this is our cask strength Aberlour, and it was one.
You mispronounced it, by the way. It's
A'bunadh.
A'bunadh.
Yeah.
Aberlour A'bunadh.
This is one of my favorites. I would have put this one higher up the list as far as preferable drinking, but I don't know if I would have put it up the list for, I think it belongs right where it does for quintessential.
Look at the thick rod coming out of that guy. Look at that
right?
thing.
hefty.
It's a beefy lead.
Now we're gonna see Aberlour again here in just a second.
Okay.
But strangely, the cask strength ended up lower on the list. Now to me, this is what the sherry cask that everyone thinks you're gonna get in a classic Macallan or a classic something or other.
Yep, I get
Aberlour does it.
Dark fruits and a creamy vanilla for me.
I get chocolates and raisins.
And you got the raisins?
Yeah.
You doing raisins?
I'm doing like the open the little box of sun-made
so
raisins.
I'm getting a vanilla and you're getting chocolate?
I'm getting chocolate and raisin. Oh, there's all the dark jammy notes. The oil and the whisk, that just goes for days.
Yeah. There is a density and a richness to this that we haven't had in the other bottlings yet.
They do different batch releases, so this is batch 67. And batches matter because if we give all these tasting notes on this, it may not be there when you go buy yours.
Buy them all. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you right now. Once you get this in you, it does pull back the veil on a lot of stuff you don't find on that first approach.
Yes, I think the nose is a little more closed up.
Oh.
And then the palate just sort of, it's the reverse of Macallan for me.
Okay.
It's like the nose is kind of tight and not welcoming, and then the palate is just like, whoa, it gives you everything. All right, I'm setting that one because we're actually gonna follow that one with the one that we were just talking about, which is we're gonna go straight to Macallan 12.
Wait a minute, Daniel.
It's the classic.
This is Highland single malt Scotch whiskey.
I know, so there's a little thing we haven't talked about yet,
What the hell's happening? Our fingers, thumbs, and thumbs, what is going on here?
All bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
What about what's happening?
Well, so all Speyside is Highland, but not all Highland Scotch is Speyside.
How?
Speyside is like a subdivision inside of the Highland whiskey industry.
Okay.
Because it's still considered Highland, you can label your bottle Speyside or Highland, your choice.
Yeah.
The only difference is marketing.
Okay.
You would only choose one because everybody, if I said, oh, Macallan, the famous Speyside Scotch, it's like, or Macallan, the famous Highland malt.
Highland
it's
sounds
like,
sexier.
More people know what that means.
Yeah, Highland sounds sexier. So what we were saying earlier, it's funny they just came up next. The nose on Macallan, we always just fall in love with.
Holy crap, the nose is what I tasted just a second ago.
Yeah?
But with a little extra dried leaves in the woods.
Like, some autumn character, and then
very much
again, the dark fruits.
The plummy, like it's very much a fresh dark fruit.
If there were a category that's probably the most beginner-friendly flavor set, it's gonna be the Speyside.
Yeah.
And this is a 43%, so not a very high proof at all.
I gotta tell you, it's got more going on than the Glenfarclas did.
If smoothness is your priority, right? If you just want that rounded off, soft mouthfeel, Macallan delivers that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a bitey Macallan ever.
Now we're gonna go immediately back to Aberlour with our next round. It's the Aberlour 12.
Okay.
Easier to say.
A little bit.
Right. Careful, I've cut my finger on that foil. Okay. Dude, someone's going to pick that shit up. Just throwing trash all over the deck.
The thick ruts. That's why I think the Magnificent Bastards voted it up. Gotta give it their vote of confidence.
Aberlour 12. To me, this is when someone says, I want to be introduced to sherried Scotch. To me, it's Aberlour 12 is what or Glendronach 12, one of those two. But notice there's a new note to this one that's almost like apple pie.
Yeah, there's like a little bit of a pastry. It's almost a little bit of like a fruit-infused tea.
Yeah, very much like the one you would get, like it's called like rainforest.
Maybe, oh, you know what? I'm getting like some dried peaches.
Look at how different that is when you're not dealing with cask strength.
Yeah.
40. Whereas what we were doing before was like 56 or something like that.
I think we've been broken from cask strength whiskeys.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty watery, but people that don't have whiskey in their life regularly, I mean, they take a sip of that and be like, oh! Yeah, but
it does feel a little thin.
Yeah, I've had more dramatic iced teas.
Now, we're gonna move to number 3.
Okay.
Now, this one absolutely belongs in the top 3.
So how do you think we're doing so far?
The only surprise to me was Glenfarclas.
Okay.
But I get why.
Okay.
Right? Every other one would have made my list if I just written down a list off the top of my...
Of quintessential representatives.
Absolutely, because Balvenie DoubleWood is on that list.
The DoubleWood.
And of course it is.
Right.
Now I love this because it's both bourbon and sherry cask, and it gives a really nice transition into people who really like bourbon cask vanilla, introducing them to sherry without dominating in the sherry notes.
Oh, that is nice.
See how this is a little more malt forward though?
Yeah.
There's a little more body to it.
Yeah, the oak barrel is more present on this than what I typically find in most Speysides.
Absolutely. And the vanilla is more of a toasted creme brulee top.
Yep, toasted, getting some pear.
Okay. A little malt must and a little more phenolic almost, a little more earthy.
Yeah. It is interesting. Usually the phenolic notes, the earthy notes, those are going to be reserved for a different Scotch category. And it's not dominating.
No.
It's not heavy-handed.
No.
But it's there just on the back end.
We haven't seen that note yet.
Just teasing
now.
Teasing the bits.
That's the first that we've gotten a little bit more heft to that.
Not just fruity, sweet things.
Now number 2.
Jess?
The Glenlivet 12.
All right. I remember from experience, this is one of my first whiskeys. It's actually one of my earliest whiskey gifts somebody ever gave me.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed it, but once I got deeper into whiskey, this probably became well enough executed whiskey, but it was just not a lot of layers or complexity there.
You know what I always say about this one? It's always lovely to drink, but hard to remember. This is closer to the green apple and citrus notes that I found when we were doing the Glenfiddich citrus,
I can already tell,
but not candied.
I can already tell in the nose, this is going to be more thinned out and almost like more watery compared to some of the things we've had before.
So if you're going quintessential, approachable, it makes sense though.
That said though, I still think if we're talking classic quintessential middle of the road representative flavors, I think this is probably more leaning in the direction of maltiness. And when I think of most Speysides, there is this fruity slash floral slash butterscotch quality.
And it's slightly lacking on this one.
Yeah.
This has that same slight phenolic earth note that Balvenie has, but with more candy on it.
The honey note this is giving me is undeniably, this is the same honey I get out of a lot of bourbons.
Yeah, bourbon cask heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is that bourbon honey showing up in a Scotch.
A lot of it.
Sweet maltiness. If you want to like really kick this up a notch, a few drops of an Islay of your choice.
Lefroy Gerard bag.
Yeah, and I say few, like maybe 2 or 3. And it adds this whole nother layer without dominating.
This is almost juice. Like a fruit juice.
Wait, Daniel. Do you hear that? It's like a siren song.
Oh no.
Doth mine eyes deceive me? The lost barrel of sponsor? Yes, the legends are true. A genie to fulfill my every wish.
Yeah, what do you want?
So, you just ask a wish and you grant the wish, yeah?
Kind of. Some guy a while back asked for 1,000,000 wishes, drained most of my genie powers.
So, my wishes have to be...
Shitty! Yeah, I'm a shitty genie.
Can I get a castle?
No.
$1 billion.
Come on.
Niagara Falls, but with whiskey.
No.
Fly?
No.
Time travel.
Time travel? I'm 6,000 years old and bald. If I could time travel, do you think I'd look like this? I'd have used keeps and kept my magical genie mane a long time ago.
Keeps? Just make sure I don't go bald. I've made so many jokes about Daniel's dome. There's probably a lot of karma heading my way.
Oh, I can check your karma. Yeah, you're screwed.
Can't help it. He just looks so... Daniel.
Karma checks count as a wish, by the way. Look, man, 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by age 35. There's no magic cure for baldness. Your best bet is to keep it before you lose it. They've revolutionized the game. Your meds are delivered every 3 months to keep you on schedule, so you don't even have to go broke to stay not getting bald. Just get Keeps!
Can you at least give it to me for free?
I can give you a big discount. Go to keeps.com/whiskeytribe to get 50% off your first order.
Thank you.
That also counts as a wish. 2 wishes down, 1 to go. The karma's gonna wreck that ass, bro.
Daniel, are we on the number 1 now?
Well, okay.
You good?
I guess.
too late.
Drum roll. Keep going. I want him to bruise.
Glenfiddich 12! Of course.
Yeah.
This, by a wide
Grant
margin.
and Sons.
Huge margin. Like the 2 and 3 and 4 combined probably is adding up to the Glenfiddich 12. People
yeah.
are saying, by and large, this
is the one.
the quintessential
According
classic.
to them.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, that means Glenfiddich bookended the list.
Yeah.
But,
It's not a flower, B. It's not a flower. So the Glenfiddich.
William Grant and Sons. Oh, see?
It's nice.
Apple and butterscotch.
It's nice. There's like a vanilla drenched cream, like a pear.
Berries and cream.
Like you poured vanilla cream over a pear.
Yeah, but light berries, not dark berries.
Yeah, yeah. On the nose, I think on the nose, this is probably my favorite so far.
Yeah, and it's even at 40, the palate is not as nice as Aberlour A'bunadh.
Yeah, I like the nose better than the palate. You can tell that it's 40%, but I think even at that 40%, it's punching above its weight.
Yeah.
In terms of the flavors that it's able to deliver at that really low proof. I wish it was a higher proof.
Yeah.
If there is such thing as like a Glenfiddich 12 cask strength, I wouldn't be able to stand up because we would get demonetized.
Fair.
Daniel.
Word cloud.
Yes, the winner. The thing that we do to honor the winner is we ask the community of magnificent bastards, you voted this up. What does Glenfiddich 12 taste like? Up to 5 flavors.
Yeah.
So
malt, honey, pear, apple, vanilla.
Here's the bottle and what we got here. The biggest words obviously are gonna have the most people inputting. And finding the pear, the apple, vanilla, yeah, the honey, the malt, the sweet, sure.
Yeah, that's
the green apple,
everything that we were. Someone
it.
put Ardbeg in there. Freaking Christina. Ron Burgundy's flop sweat. Look at that.
Daniel's feelings?
Yeah. Immediately followed by Rex's tube socks.
Somebody said chode. Also Rex's mom. To that I say no. Maltiness, malt funk, biscuit, orange zest.
What exactly is deer-ish?
So some people identify as woodland creatures. You know, it's a thing now. We're gonna link, if you wanna check this out, we're gonna link an image down in the description below, and you do us a solid, you throw on like the thumbs up and the subscribe. Let's see what's going around the property. All right, Richard, so you showed me something that blew my mind. I think there's a lot of people watching the channel that have no idea that a Glencairn can be oriented in a very special way to get a very specific measurement.
Yeah.
So what's the deal here?
Well, we've got 2 different sizes. We've got the tasting size.
Yeah.
And we've got the full size.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a 1/2 ounce pour, which is a tasting pour,
Yeah.
it will fill where it will not spill.
What's the size on the larger?
Take the 1.5 ounces, 45 mils.
So right up to the point where it doesn't spill, and you can get an exact 1.5 ounces on that, and then how much on that?
1/2 ounce.
That's cool, man.
That's a great
We learn new things. See you later, man.
See ya.
I've been rolling this whole time.